remind you, Nass Watch is where we talk about the bills, constituencies, constituents, lawmakers, and in general, how the laws they make affect your everyday life. Today, we have one major conversation, which is on balancing Nigerian laws and faith, right? As you know, Nigeria is blessed with diverse beliefs, but three major faiths. When filling out a form, the first thing you look out for is you're Christian, you're Muslim, or maybe a traditional worshiper. I haven't exactly seen traditional worshiper though, but some people have it. Now, as Nigeria draws towards 2027 election year, the conversation of religion has once again surfaced. Today, the Muslim ticket of Mr. President, the controversial comment made by the Sheikh, which sparked widespread criticism from different quarters, and the fine of 50,000 naira placed on preaching in commercial vehicle will form the basis of the conversation today. You do not want to miss it. We'll be right back.
Meet the men and women shaping the future of Nigeria. Get to know your representatives at the National Assembly. From lawmaking to constituency projects, we'll take you behind the scenes and inside the chambers of the Nigerian National Assembly. Learn about the bills they are championing, the challenges they are facing, and the impacts they are making in their constituencies. We'll also bring you closer to the people they are serving and the stories that shape their work. Join us on Nass Watch every Friday on Rapid Television at 7 p.m. So get informed, get engaged, and get to know the leaders shaping Nigeria's future.
Nigeria's economy, the global market, what does it all mean for you? From stock market insights to global financial news you need to know, from Wall Street to the main street and of course the marketplace.
Get the answers you need every week on Business Lens as I bring into focus the stories, strategies, and shifts shaping our economy. No angle is missed as I talk about the business, the people, patterns, and possibilities behind them. Welcome to the Business Lens.
Rapid TV, rooted in truth, driven by impact.
All right, welcome back. Let's begin with the bill involving preaching in commercial vehicles. Now, for those who probably didn't have the chance to grab the full picture, right? The controversy surrounds a provision in the Federal Road Safety Corps Amendment Bill 2026, which proposes a fine of 50,000 for anyone convicted of preaching, trading, or hiking inside a commercial vehicle. So you know how you enter a bus and you see some pastor just preaching for you and telling you to repent for the kingdom of God is here, right? It's a good thing. Now, Christian bodies and religious groups argue it threatens freedom of religion, while the Senate insists the rule targets commuter safety and is not a new law. The thing now is, have we ever had a situation whereby you see a driver had an accident because someone was preaching? These are some of the questions people are asking. But let's look at the full picture of it. Now, the penalty is 50,000 naira fine upon conviction for preaching, trading, or hawking. To provide context, that is not
not only preaching was listed out inside a commercial bus. The purpose, they say, is that the goal is to stop driver distractions and lower high road accidents and fatality rates. Now, look at the legal aspects. The Senate noted that penalizing preaching and hawking in commercial transport is not a new creation. It has been part of the Federal Road Safety Commission Act and National Road Traffic Regulations since 2007 and 2012. Well, the current status, the bill has passed through the National Assembly and it awaits all the drama that needs to happen. But they have had religious opposition. Groups like the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, the Northern State Christian Elders Forum, and individual clergymen have rejected the provision. Let's look at the constitutional concerns. Now, critics argue that this bus evangelism violates constitutional guaranteed rights to freedom of religion and expression, which is the part where we need more clarity on. Religious stakeholders have urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to step in and do the needful. Now, that's not only what we're talking about today. And the Senate clarified that the upper chamber in state legislation does not ban street preaching, open-air evangelism, or general public worship. They also clarified that it was a concurrent bill from the House of Reps, so they're only responding, which is their duty to respond. Now, the restriction applies strictly to enclosed commercial transport vehicles where noise and movement can distract drivers and endanger passengers. It's a bit dicey because, again, have we ever seen a situation whereby you say a driver had an accident because someone was preaching? We'll look at the broader picture. Let's now move on to the second part of the conversation, which is our Muslim ticket. Let's look at this particular video that trended. It went viral and everyone was talking about it. Let's listen to it.
Ahmad Bola Tinubu wanda ya daga tutar siyasarsu ya mata kirari da Muslim. Nace ina ɗaya daga cikin masu daga tutar musulunci in kira jama'a ku taho mu yi Muslim. Na sani cewa kafirai na jin zafin wannan kalma, to amma ba akwai kiristoci ba akwai yahudawa ba akwai masu bautar magiro ba. Ni musulmi mai wa'azin musulunci da nace muslim mai na taba nasu. Na hana kirishin ya faɗa ne, na hana magiro ya faɗa ne, na hana ɗan tantarbace ya faɗa ne, amma ni a matsayi na musulmi, muslim, sha'a man sha'a au aba. Amma wani zai ce ai to demokradiya ne, ai akwai suwa ne, ba sa sallah ba, ai kai ne wakilinsu. To mu muna sallah, muna azumi, kuma demokradiyyar kun ce majority carry the vote. Jama'a, gauro da gauruwa, tuzuru da tuzuruwa, Allah ya ba ku abokan zaman tare na aure. Za su iya haɗa wannan taron? Tunanan ɗin na kiran ku don Allah kowa je gyara ƙuri'a. Mu nuna wa duniya ƙarya kafirai suke da suka ce sun fi mu yawa a Najeriya, ƙarya suke yi. Ba don Allah ya taimake mu na ce Muslim ba, mai rabon jini sai ya ce sun fi mu yawa. Da aka buga, Allah ya taimake mu muka kwantara su da ƙasa. Su zo na biyu ma ba su zo ba. Ko sun zo? Sai na uku bayan murɗiya su duka. Da haka, ƙuri'a ta musulunci ce. Jama'ar musulmi ta kufa. To kar wani ya ruɗe ku. Masu miyagun tarihi. Da haka siddan suka zo suka jefa mana bom a masallacin sarki a kan. Wai su 'yan tatsini, wai su kiristoci, 'yan basaji. To ku da Allah. Amma mu irin wannan gwamnatin muke so da za ta ɗau ginshiƙin kafa gidan iyali mai tsafta, ta zo ta kashe kuɗin Kano don mu musulmin Kano.
Okay, so that's the Sheikh talking. We have an image where we have the graphics. Let's have that graphics on the screen. So we just summarize it. He talked about the Nigerian Muslim. He also talked about you don't want to accept. You know, it said a lot of things. Well, that's the write-up right there, the summary of everything, and it received uproar. We had Christian bodies, we had religious leaders, we also had some Muslim faithfuls that also came out to say this statement does not exactly represent. Well, this is what we're going to be talking about today. Some people would want to argue that there is no place in the Constitution where Muslim ticket kicks against it. This is the part where I get to introduce my guest. I can't just introduce you without using the word Mr. Okay, Mr. Alex Adekunle James. He is right here on the show. It's so great to have you join us on the show. Good evening.
Good evening, Cynthia. It's good to be back here again.
Exactly. And virtually, I have Dr. Khalifa Abbas. He's joining us virtually on the conversation this beautiful evening. Dr. Khalifa, hope you're good. How is Lagos? Oh, Dr. Khalifa, can you please unmute your mic so we can hear you?
Lagos is fine. How are you?
I am fantastic. So I would want to start with you, Dr. Khalifa, right? You saw the video of the Sheikh that caused uproar, right?
Yeah, I did.
How do you want to react to that? Looking at the fact that Nigeria is a country where we have both Christians and we have Muslims, and a very respected man coming out to make a statement like this in a religious gathering. How would you want to respond to that?
Okay, you need to understand what he said clearly because he spoke in Hausa, which I believe a lot of people understand Hausa as a language and they understand what he said because he said a lot of things before he concluded what he meant by what he was saying. I'm not actually here to defend him or to be against him. I'm just going to elaborate and for people for better understanding. Because when he was doing his conversation, he mentioned something about Muslim ticket,
yes,
which a lot of people have right to do if they want to do, and also a lot of people have right to do Christian ticket if that's what they believe is going to work for them. One thing I need people to understand that Nigeria is a vast nation with a lot of people from different religions. Muslims and Christians and other people that worship other things that they believe in, and they have rights by Nigerian constitution. So I think everybody have a right to go for what he believes in. But this is where the correction comes to. This is where I think... Can you hear?
Yes, we can hear you.
This is where I think, as a respected person like Sheikh, that has a lot of followers around Nigeria, there is a lot of things that you have to say it with clarification. You can speak about things that concerns politics, but you have to differentiate it between what you say about politics and politicians and what you say to your masses who follow you because of you as a religious leader. And what the last statement he made was my only problem with him. But from beginning, he said something like, you have a right to do whatever you want to do. You have a right to follow your own decision. You can do Christian. You can do a lot of. You can follow who you want to follow. But at the end of the conversation, he now mentioned something about whether we, the Muslims, are more than the Christians or something like that. I don't want to go into details about that. But I think that is where we had the misunderstanding. Because if you watch online, most of the videos that people are posting is that particular video, the ending part. They don't put the full video where he explained what he meant from beginning. And you know how Nigeria is, as usual, people are going to misunderstand what they don't understand, which is very normal to everybody. So what I'm trying to say here is, for him to make that statement, I think it's inappropriate as a leader of a nation like this, with people of this population from different religion, because anything that will be said against your religion would not be appreciated by you also. So as a Muslim, if somebody says something against my own religion, I will not be happy about it. So as same as I need to consider my Christian brothers to be understandable, that I will not say anything against their religion. And moreover, the whole religion doesn't speak against any of the religion. That is my biggest problem when it comes to people that portray all these things to our people. You get? The religion doesn't have issue within themselves. This book is not against this book. This book is not against this book.
Okay.
All the holy books were revealed for people to worship, and you have people that are following Bible. You have people that are following the Quran, which everybody believes that will take him to heaven, which everybody have a right to do.
Okay, Doctor, before you go further, I want to find out from you, don't you see these as insightful? Don't you think this comment is going to be insightful? Because I have sitting down here with me, you know, Mr. Alex, who has been very, very vocal when it comes to the Muslim ticket, right?
Yeah.
And a country like Nigeria, we expect that the faith should be represented at the highest office, which of course has been the case. Even though some people might want to argue that sometime in some years back we had our forefathers, you know, our heroes past, who practicalized Christian ticket, right? But that was many years ago. That was very long time ago, and we've had a balance since then. So, how would you explain to? Is this not insightful, this particular comment by the Sheikh? We might want to explain, but is this not insightful to Christians? Is this not insightful?
It's actually very insightful and very inappropriate for a leader of any religion to come out vocally and say something against another religion that has a lot of followers of people. We are all Nigerians, and we all have the same rights as Nigerians. So we have to respect ourselves. We have to respect our religions, our people, our integrity. So it's not something that I will ever support from anybody.
Okay.
But there is something I want to correct you when it comes to politics and how people win election. Election is not being won by emotions. Election is being won by strategies. And when people think by doing Christian ticket will give them the presidency, they will go forward for it. Same goes to when people think by doing Muslim ticket will give them a presidency, they will go for it. So there is two different conversations here. We have to differentiate between religious conversation and political conversations.
Okay, I'll pause you there.
Yes.
I will pause you there. I don't have many questions from what you just said, but I'll pause you there. Let me come to Mr. Alex. You've heard his thoughts regarding the Sheikh's comment, right? When you saw that video, you saw the uproar. What was your first reaction, and how would you want to respond to that statement? As it concerns Nigeria, which of course is a very sensitive topic when it comes to Nigeria talking about, oh, we need representation of all the faiths in the highest office.
Thank you very much. Quite frankly, my first reaction, I was not surprised any bit, because it's not the first time we are getting such remark from leaders of the Islamic faith. Right, I'll be extremists, as some of them want to call it. I mean, there was a video that leaked a couple of years ago where an ex-governor of Kaduna State, El-Rufai, made similar remark, right? We've had so many others. Even Sheikh Gumi also recently has hinted and continued to unequivocally make such remarks. So it is not surprising, right? What is surprising, because I've come to recently zoom out of the Nigerian context and think independently, think neutrally about what is happening or what is playing out in Nigeria. And I think that we have a very fundamental problem in this country. Not too long ago, China put a tag on Islam and called them a mental illness, right? They called Islam a mental illness in China. And I would balance this because even China is somewhat hostile to Christianity also. It's just about communism, right? The government needs to be the most influential, most powerful force in their country, right? They restrict Christianity, but they now come to a conclusion to make that remark. And I'm coming to the place where, and I'm trying to also differentiate, because I don't also agree that all Muslim or all Islam is on this table, right? That we're trying to break, right? So let me use extreme Islam. I come to agree, if we look at this thing holistically, It was on the news just today that over 120 churches in Canada has been burnt down or vandalized by Muslims. In Europe, across Europe, we are seeing a lot of push, right? A lot of aggression against civilization. And I come to ask, is extreme Islam trying to take us back to Stone Age, try to undo the civilization that has even helped them, help their religion spread to what it is today? If Islam is truly about peace, like they call it, or is truly about religion, why fight so much? Why project so much hatred? Why stir up so much anger? Right? Killing, according to our Bible in Christianity, Jesus Christ did one of his most famous sermon. They call it Sermon on the Mount, right? Where he talked about where Jesus came and even tightened the moral compass for us Christians, and helped us to understand humanity better and to live more in harmony.
Go
right?
ahead.
Jesus Christ said that some of you, the law says that if you kill, right, you've committed a sin and you're also going to be killed. But I say to you that if you even hate your brother, you've committed a sin already. So that kind of layer it, that we now get to understand, and it says more than that, right? Almost every other commandment, Jesus Christ tried to break it down to the cause, right? If we can deal with the cause, we will not have the effect. If we can deal with anger, we will not have a lot of killings, right? Because nobody just come, only mentally deranged people come out happy, laughing, and killing. It's born out of hatred, out of anger, right? So why do we have so much religious Islamic inspired killings? Right? Why are they so angry? Why can we not just live in peace? Why can't we agree that you practice your religion, I practice my religion, and we live in harmony? Right? And again, even within Islam, I think one of the things that makes this thrive is even poverty, illiteracy, and lack of mental capacity. Because in other Islamic countries, we see in
Turkey and
Saudi Arabia that they
banned
banned Sheikh Gumi from coming in because of his mentality. UAE have been screaming, have been shouting at the top of their lungs, saying that Europe, you people are condoning extreme Islam, and you don't even know what you are harboring. In fact, they stopped taking culture exchange. They stopped allowing students from Europe, Islamic Muslim students, to come to UAE because they don't want them to bring their extremist view, extremist perspective to UAE. So even other Western Islamic bodies and states have evolved, right? Have come to accept the shared humanity that we have. Have come to take on development. Have come to learn how to live in harmony with other religion. So no matter how we paint it, no matter how we turn it, the both issue we are trying to tackle today, whether it all comes down to something. It all comes down to a certain religion trying to bully and trying to push out the other religion from the territory, claiming that it is theirs, and it is not fair in any way or form.
Okay, you've made your submission. Now, there's something I would have to come back to Dr. Khalifa. Now, in that...
Sorry, I want to respond before you ask a question. I want to respond.
Okay, please go ahead.
To my brother with you.
Okay.
I need us to understand, because we are here talking about clarity as people who understand what other people do not understand.
Yeah.
So we should be speaking about things that we understand. We have to differentiate between religion, international politics, Nigerian politics, people mindset. Religion are the holy books, not people's action. In the Quran, it says, whoever kills a single human being is as if he has killed the whole of humanity. That is the punishment for somebody who has killed anyone. that is not by law. There is no way in Islam that gives a person an ideology of going to kill another person. You cannot take judgment by yourselves on your own in any Islamic teachings. But you have people's mindsets. You have people's emotions. You understand? So when regarding to what he was saying about how Muslims are not being allowed to go to other countries, you need to understand how they do international politics with Muslim countries and other Christian countries and other countries that are not even religious at all. That is international politics. It has nothing to do with our religion or their religion. It's about gain and oil and natural resources. So we have to separate the conversation. When it comes down to Nigeria, you understand Nigerian politics. Nigerians are greedy. Nigerians use any tools that will enable them to win election. It doesn't matter what you're going to feel. It's not about your feelings or about my feelings. It's about winning elections as a politicians. So I'll get to the point now.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is this person, this imam that said what he said, he's not a political leader, he's a religious leader. Which on his statement, he was saying something about he's speaking for his people. That if the other religion wants to say something about Christian, they should say it by themselves. He's not stopping them.
But doctor, isn't it more grievous that a religious leader would make an open statement of such? Also, let's not forget that there were statements about infidel, there were statements about, which I would want you to clarify, what the Holy Book says, who the Holy Book refers to as infidels, right? Because I know that the Bible did not refer to infidels as, do you get? So I would want him to respond to that, and also you respond to when you talk about infidel, because I want to learn from you now, who are the people referred to as infidels? Is it the Christians or anyone who does not believe in any faith or in God at all? We would want clarification on that. And also the aspect where he is a religious leader and he's making such a statement, that makes it more grievous.
Very. So based on that, I am not supporting him in what he said.
And let me also add, sorry, doctor, let me also add that this is not the first time, like Mr. Alex said, this is not the first time we are having this kind of videos circulate. And there were rumors some time back that they want to make Nigeria an Islamic state. And lots of Nigerians were frantic. Lots of Nigerians were frantic about that. And then come 2026, a sheikh is making a statement like this, and he's visibly excited that we have a Muslim ticket. How do you balance that?
The first thing is, for what he said, for the statement he made, it is very, very, very wrong. We are all against it as people who understand that we need to live in harmony. We have our brothers and sisters that are from other faiths. It's not something, it's very insightful to say it. And it's not something that should be said by somebody who is a leader, as a religious leader like himself. You understand? Because he has been there for a very long time, so he should understand better that the other faith is going to feel offended by what he said. And back to what I'm trying to make points as a matter of infidel. Hausa is a different language, which English is a different language.
Okay.
The Quran was written in Arabic, not in Hausa, not in English.
Okay.
Based on English translation, infidel, it's what is called, they're not Christians, they're unbelievers. Christians have a religion, so they are called Christians. You understand? The Jews have a religion, so they are called Jews. But when they say infidel, it's somebody who doesn't have a religion, who is against what you're practicing. Christianity is not against Muslims, against Islam, because it was there before Islam, based on the scriptures. So based on our understanding, it has nothing against a religion that was going to come after it. There was no anything written against or in support of any religion after the Bible was written, right? The Quran followed after, which it had to make clarification based on how you're going to live with your Christian brothers and sisters.
Okay.
And which there is nothing inside the Quran that is as insightful as hate or any conversation that do not allow you to live with other faiths. Because if we all believe in God, the God that creates every single person creates all the religion at once.
So are you agreeing?
Whether we believe.
So are you agreeing with Mr. Alex when he says it is lack of education and not reading properly that is allowing some persons refer to Christians as infidel?
Okay, it is lack of education, not really lack of education. It is more of a personal interest by other people pursuing their own agenda. It is not religious. What I'm trying to say is, some people are very selfish in trying to make a point for their people by going against other people's religion, which is very, very something that is not acceptable by me.
Okay, I know you want to respond.
I don't necessarily agree, right? Because I see when arguments are put forward by people like Doctor, with all due respect, and you only refer to the Quran as though the Quran is the only book that Muslims or Islam subscribe to. I can read from your edit chapters and passage upon passage that encourages all of these things that you're saying the faith does not subscribe to. So yes, the edits, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. Hadith, God bless you.
Yeah.
The Hadith, which is also a religious book, encourages all of these things, which also stand in sharp contradiction with the Quran a lot of times. So if this is encouraged, I mean, we had an event very recently, an interfaith dialogue, and we had where we brought sheikhs and pastors, and somebody threw a question and said Islam as a religion believes that when you kill for the faith and you die, virgins are waiting for you, all of that. And just like today, right? They say, oh, the Quran does not support it. What is in the Hadith, which is also a religious book that your faith subscribes to. So what are we talking about?
I think the topic wants to respond to that.
It's a whole big.
No, wait. Let me respond to this 1 minute.
Okay.
When you talk about Islam, the Quran was revealed to the prophets for the people, right? So the main book we refer to, for any information, it's the Quran, hadiths, and it's not all the hadiths that have been verified, that have been accepted. So if I'm going to give you reference, I'll give you reference from the Quran, because we believe that is the book we worship. That is the information that was given to us. Any other thing, it is an extension of explanation by other imams, by other people, that based on their understanding and based on what they think people should behave, right? So if I'm going to give you a reference, I will give you a reference to what? To the Quran. If I'm going to give you a reference to the Christians, I'll give you a reference to the Bible. I wouldn't give you a reference to other books that being revealed after the Bible.
So you are saying, Dr. Khalifa, that based on the Quran, there is no part that talks about virgins waiting for you when you die. There is no part that encourages, killing and having some level of favors based on who you've killed. There's no part that encourages hatred on your Christian brothers or those in other faiths. That's what you're saying, that there's no part of the Quran that has all of this content.
In the Quran, like I told you, let me make it simple to you. In the Quran, it said, whoever kills a single human being is as though he has killed the whole of humanity. And whoever saves a single human being is as though he has saved the whole of humanity. So that is the Quran for you. The Quran allows, it allows punishments to people like any other government of any other country do, because it's an organization of people that people have to abide by the rules. But not killing by a single person on your own without any justification. It has to be under law. Like do we have constitution here? It has to go under the constitution of the Quran, not by a single person to take an action by himself.
Okay, I think we're going to take a breather right now. We'll go on a very short break, but we'll come back, we'll continue the conversation. It's still Nass Watch, don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back. It's still Nass Watch, and we're talking about the Muslim ticket, and we're also having the conversation about the bill to ban preaching, hawking,
and all sorts in a commercial vehicle. We were trying to just calm the temper down, okay? And Dr. Khalifa was trying to give us an explanation. Dr. Khalifa, are you still there?
I'm here.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Dr. Khalifa, are you there? Can you hear me?
I'm here. Can you hear you?
Okay,
Can
please
you hear
unmute
me?
your mic so I can hear you. So while you're doing that, some of the conversations that were being held regarding that same video was the fact that, we have more Christians than Muslims, or we have more Muslims than Christians. Well, there is no specific data that talks about the official number of Christians or Muslims, but roughly, right, we have that, okay, roughly about 46% of persons in Nigeria are Muslims, while about 56% of persons in Nigeria are Christian. That's if we want to work with the 230 million people, right? If you want to work with that number, which brings about 100 to 120 million, and then if you're now looking at the 93 to 180, that's like 43 to 46%. Alongside other smaller fraction that believe in their traditional worship. So we are a very unique people, but it doesn't really matter who is more and who is not more. It's about being able to coexist and live together in harmony, and make sure that everybody is able to practice and worship God as they want. Now, Dr. Khalifa, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
All right, I can hear you loud and clear now.
Okay.
So yes, I would like for you to make your submission before I get your thoughts on the bill on preaching in vehicles, hawking, and all of that in a commercial vehicle, because that is also part of the faith thing, and the fine of 50,000 naira. So I'd like to get your submission on the Muslim ticket, final one, before we now switch over to the other conversation.
Okay. First of all, I'm a politician that understand Nigerian politics. Yes. And not now, not before. I've always said it.
Yeah.
There is no religion when it comes to politics. People use every single tool they know it will work for them. So when we, the people, stamp on what they said, we are giving them the power that they don't have. So by somebody making a statement about Muslim ticket, if he thinks that's going to work for him, that's what he's going to go for.
Okay.
If another politician think he's going to use Peter Obi and another pastor to get a Nigerian presidency, he's going to do it. So when it comes to our level, the down level, people think it's about religion. It is not about religion to them. To them, it's about strategy. It's about winning. It's about understanding our mindsets. How we have uneducated people that always think about emotion, always concern their emotion with religion, their emotion with culture, that makes them to select who they want to select based on his religion or based on his language. But a politician sees every other politician as a friend that happens to be in his far party, right? Okay. So it is not about religion to them. It is about winning. And when winning comes, they use every single tool that will actually elevate them to win an election.
All right.
And it doesn't matter whether they use religion or ethnicity or religious leaders that want to campaign for them, which is what they are doing now.
Okay.
And let me tell you, wait. And let me tell you, there is no, in our constitution, constitution allows everybody to vote for who he wants to vote for, and everybody to campaign for who he wants to campaign for. So as a pastor or as an imam, if you want to campaign for a person, you should campaign for him. The only thing I want them to remember always is their faith and what they are going to go back and face their God. Because by misleading people to go and vote for somebody who you don't believe in, just because of money that he gave to you, or because of an interest that you think you're going to have afterwards, you are going to go and face your God on the judgment day. Okay. But people have to understand that politics, you have to remove emotion and go for. And now let me even ask you, do you think as we are now, there is anyone that will tell you?
30 seconds, Dr. Khalifa. 30 seconds.
Okay. Do you think as we are now, there is anyone that will tell you who to vote for? As someone that has been in Nigeria over these 4 years, over the last 8 years, is anybody that is going to tell you who to vote for now? You know who to vote for better. So if you think this government is doing what you think they should be doing, go and vote for them again. If you think they are not doing what they're supposed to be doing, you vote for another person that you believe in. It is not about religion or a Muslim or a Christian.
Okay. So we're just trying to balance both, right? Because we believe in that in this country. But then, would you want to give your submission before we move on to? All right, please.
Maybe not submission. I have a lot to say about literally almost everything that Doctor has said. But I'll just say one thing, which is the last. I'll just address the last thing that he said. It's the other way around, right? I think there's just a very big fat propaganda around everything that is happening, right? Religion is not a tool for politics. The other way around, politics is a tool for religion. Especially, I think Islam is more of a political organization, even more than it is a religious organization. I can prove it, right? Saying that religion is the tool that people use to get into office. If that is so, how come even after winning the office, if it was a tool, at least it will be dropped after. But after winning the office, we still see a lot of conspiracy, a lot of political maneuvering around enforcing Islam. We see a lot of that. A whole lot. I can give you examples upon examples upon examples.
Okay, example. Give me one.
Example is the establishment of Sharia, for example, in the north, and how it has trespassed our constitution as a country.
It has not.
No, it has. In fact, up till very recently, a few days ago, there was still a constitutional jurisdiction battle between Sharia court and Federal High Court on the woman that changed her religion to Christianity, and the Supreme Court has ruled that Sharia court has no jurisdiction over this matter. But regardless, and we have cases upon cases where Sharia has no jurisdiction, trespassing, and even as going way out of the provision of the law to give a verdict to matter and to rule over people that are not even confined within the Sharia embrace. So, and I can go on and on and on. But like I said, I think it's a whole big propaganda. And like I said, if you zoom out and look at things more holistically, more with a sense of humanity, you will observe and know deep in your heart that there is an injustice going on in this country. And if we don't address it, if we don't have a government that is responsible enough to bring that balance, things will just continue to spiral, right? The group that are being pushed might just be pushed to the wall. Stella.
That I believe you. The government have the responsibility to fix what you are complaining about, not religious leaders. Religious leaders, most of them are already corrupt, that do not listen to what you're saying. That's what I'm saying. We should vote for people that are going to hear us and do by us, not by them.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Khalifa, for joining us. I know that you had to take out time from your very busy schedule, but I'm thinking of disturbing you tomorrow when you get to Osun State, but no problem. We have a lot to talk about when it comes to Osun State.
Yeah, yes, we do.
But I'll let you go take your nap right now. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Khalifa. We'll continue the conversation.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Let's now continue. How does this affect the average Christian, right? When conversations like this arise and we don't have our lawmakers who are supposed to step, because our lawmakers are busy, joining campaign trails and, doing what they have to do, right? Just was it not which day? Yesterday, they're all in Osun State trying to support who they have to support. Now, when we have our lawmakers who are not fixing their mind in issues like this, to see how both faith can be unified when it comes to laws, when it comes to policies, when it comes to decisions that are being made, how do you think this affects the average Christian out there?
Very interesting question. So I work closely with the National Assembly, and I'm going to speak for them and I'm going to speak against them under the same breath. Speaking for them, I'll say that, trust me when I say things could have been worse off than this, if not for the fact that we have some Christians and some normal thinking legislators in our National Assembly.
Okay.
So a lot of these conversations are considered, even to these legislators, very sensitive, especially when it has to do with Islam. very sensitive, right? If we're going to be honest, right? So what they would do is mobilize. We've had extreme. Let me give you one example. There was a time in our National Assembly where a certain northern senator brought a bill to the floor of the House advocating for
women to wear hijab.
All women across the country to wear hijab and stop wearing trousers.
Yes.
So I'm just letting you know this is one of 100 or 1,000 attempts to do control paste across Nigeria of what just one religion consider normal, right? And a lot of these things are shut down, fought, in closed door. But that's speaking for them. But I want to say that I think that people that are Christian legislators and, like I said, normal thinking legislators perhaps are not courageous enough. They don't organize enough. They are not as strategic. They are not as daring.
Okay.
Right, to bring some balance. And now, one of the reasons why I said earlier that Islam is more a political organization than a religious organization is because, smartly enough, Islam has infiltrated almost all of our institutions, right? So that when there is a vote, it's very difficult now to find some level of balance. And that's where the conversation of the Muslim ticket comes in. When there's no equal representation, when government is already compromising itself, is taking side. When government, who is supposed to be seen to be that balance, is taking side or is seen to be compromised by one of the sides, then there's going to be problem. We're going to have what we seem to be having now. For example, a lot of people don't realize that it's like we have two countries called Nigeria. We have the country, the country of the forests, right? Where they have their own civilization, they have their own, everything is, the governor of Zamfara said in Zamfara's forest alone, he said there were more than 20,000 insurgents in his forest alone, Zamfara state alone. We saw during the rescue of the Oyo State pupil, and we all knew that there's a Oyo State Game Reserve, which is almost 80% of the size of Oyo State in itself. In fact, it also goes into the boundary of another state, I think, Kwara, I'm not sure. But it's a massive forest. And we have forests, guess what? It's not even just forests in the north, forests across the whole country, right? Which is way more than the area in Nigeria where there is civilization. And we have activities going on there. Think about it in Zamfara. How do 20,000 people, how do they feed? How do they process their wastes? Think about it. How do they get fuel? How do they get electricity? And these guys are on TikTok, right? How do they survive? It's a whole civilization on its own. So we literally have another country running concurrently with our country, with Nigeria. And not that we don't have government that is aware of this, but they refuse to do something about this.
So this is a part where our lawmakers are not doing enough.
Yes, they are not.
Blame them.
Definitely not doing enough. They are not daring enough, bold enough to stand up. Wike recently said, it was on the TV where Wike was saying that he can deal with this cattle.
Yes.
He can deal with it in the snap of a finger, but he will not touch the matter because it's sensitive. And he says, if you people want to know why, go and ask this person, go and ask this person, but I will not touch it because it's a sensitive problem. We see very deep politicking of a religion. We see a religion that has taken over politics and they are using it. We see this bandit killing thousands of people, wiping out the whole village, the whole settlement, and even when we catch them, we'll sentence them to 20 years, sentence them very likely. But one young man...
So for some of them, we give them
thank you. Some of them are even pardoned, are giving money, are giving a beautiful life. But one man, right, tried to defend himself after having been stabbed twice. Sunday, I don't remember his last name now. It took the United States to anchor their support on his release for that guy to come out of detention. Even the government, even federal government were being careful to touch the matter, to demand for his release. Even after all of there were intense pressure on the state government that held him and wanted to and has sentenced him to death. Right? It took the United States to anchor whatever intervention they are going to give Nigeria on releasing him before he could come out.
I wish we had Dr. Khalifa. I'm sure he would have wanted to say something about that. So this now, from what you say, this now speaks to the deep-rooted effects of religious sentiment. And do you think that there's ever going to be a time where Christians in Nigeria are going to say, we've had enough? So interestingly enough, as Christians, I think Christians are trained differently, right? Christians, if you look through the Bible talks about the blessedness of being persecuted, the blessedness of if you are strike on one cheek, you turn the other.
Turn the other cheek. I mean,
do you actually turn the other?
That's what I was going to say. There's an extreme, of course, to the interpretation where even self-defense is being wrapped under such provision of the Bible, to put it that way. But at the end of the day, Christians are not trained to hate. Christians are not trained to be violent people. Christians are not wired to, and that is why we've not even seen an eruption, because there's a limit to how much you can push people. There's a limit to how much you can oppress people and play with people's emotion, play with people's life, and then go on TV and play on people's intelligence.
All right. I see. In fact, I know we could go on and on, but our time is gone. So in 1 minute, I just wanted to say something about the bill for the public preaching. 1 minute, just 1 minute. Talk about the fine, the 50,000 for preaching in commercial vehicles.
So thank you very much. My organization put up what's it called now, for people to sign a petition, for people to sign against this bill. And it is not because I don't understand the argument, right, of the position of the law. It is just because of the audacity. It is convenient to pick something that is done by one faith. It is easy to do, right? Because Christians are not troublemakers. But when we see other things like cattle crossing the highway and causing accident, I even have witnessed. I have a very close friend who was traveling and had a terrible accident because cattle were crossing the road, the highway, right? They can't touch that because they will say it is very sensitive. They don't want to touch it. It's sensitive. But it's convenient to say preaching in bus is a problem and to put a fine on it. It's the audacity for me. Basically, it's the audacity for me. Because we have more troubling matters that National Assembly don't want to touch because, quote and unquote, it is sensitive. There are powers that be. There are people that will be angry if we come near this subject matter, whether it's logical or not. But it's convenient to take practice. And do people preach on the bus for 1 hour, for 2 hours, because perhaps they say that they travel vehicle, when they travel long distance, it might distract the driver. But how realistic it's in Lagos State on the BRT? There are speakers now that advert speakers, where they put a speaker and then they play people's advert. You pay to put your message on it, your product, and they play it.
Okay.
Right? What's the difference between that and somebody that is preaching?
All right.
Because the driver is only going to be in the audio.
So many questions. But I wish we could go on and on. Unfortunately, our time is fast spent and we have to run. Okay. But then again, this is a conversation we might likely visit again another time. Until then, this is Nass Watch. Keep watching Rapid Television. Thank you to my guests for coming. And thank you to Dr. Khalifa. My name is Cynthia Agbo. I'll see you next Friday.